Yatra hit a century on his 100th day on the road. The former chief of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, seems to have scored a self-goal. Speaking in Rajasthan, he first accused the media of deliberately trying to hush up the matter and then went on to spell out his strategic analysis of the situation at the border, surmising that while China is stockpiling weapons and preparing for nothing less than war, India is sleeping and is in denial.
हिंदुस्तान के 20 जवानों को शहीद किया, जो हमारे जवानों को अरुणाचल प्रदेश में पीट रहे हैं, उनका पूरा प्रिपरेशन चल रहा है और प्रिपरेशन युद्ध का है। हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सोई हुई है। इस बात को हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सुनना नहीं चाहती है।
All right, so let me go straight across, in fact, to the former army chief of India and also somebody who's been the governor of Arunachal Pradesh, General J.J. Singh. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking to us. How do you look at the statement made today? Because those defending Rahul Gandhi are saying that all he's asking for is transparency from the Indian government. Only a statement saying whether soldiers were beaten up or not.
Padmaja, I must say that the government of India, through the Army and the Ministry of Defence, have made a statement that the Indian Army has blunted the plans of the Chinese PLA to come across the LAC and secure some area in our territory. And they have been thrown back and beaten to pulp in certain cases. So how can anybody say that there is no transparency? Videos are there, statements are there, and the truth is that the Chinese are aggressors. They also believe in slowly taking one step, and if nobody does anything, they take the second step. And this is what Charles Bell has written in the biography of the 13th Dalai Lama. We have learned from that, and the moment they take the first step, we hit them so hard that they will never forget it. This happened in Doklam, this happened in Galwan, and it now happened in Tawang. And why Tawang? Tawang is important because in area of Tawang, in a village, the 6th Dalai Lama was born. The people of Tawang are Monpa Buddhists. They are nowhere, anywhere near any Tibetans, and they are closer to the eastern Bhutan, the Monpa tribe. So now China is worried that perhaps the next Dalai Lama may come from Tawang region, and therefore Tawang is in the issue. Tawang is in the news. Also, I would like to tell you that Xi Jinping is facing a problem in various corners. He has opened a front in Taiwan. He's got a front against the Japanese islands. He's also got unrest in Hong Kong and within China now.
Okay.
For the first time, the people of China are making protests, and one of the protests said that he is a traitor. Whoever made that placard may have disappeared by now. But what I'm saying is he is surrounded by challenges all over.
So,
he
sir,
wants to divert the attention of the people of China toward the LAC.
So let me bring in Qamar Zaman Chaudhary of the Congress. Here you have the former army chief saying very clearly that the government and the army are anything but sleeping or in denial.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the entire debate today, I believe, is on what the comments that Rahul Gandhi has made. But in fact, you know, Padmaja, what Rahul Gandhi said is just echoing the thoughts that our Prime Minister made in 2013. The thoughts, I am reading it for your better understanding. Narendra Modi ji says, as Chief Minister of Gujarat, India is going through a troubled situation. China intrudes our borders. Pakistan kills our soldiers time and again, but the center doesn't act. Now, is it the responsibility of the opposition to show the mirror to the administration, the government? Nobody is questioning the valiant nature of our Indian army, what we have done to Pakistan in the past, it's all
But
for
sir,
us to see.
the question is about the quality of the question being asked. Right now, if you're saying that soldiers are being beaten, how is that borne out by fact? If you're saying that the government is sleeping at the wheel, how is that borne out by fact? How did you divine that the government is sleeping at the wheel?
Okay, let me come to that basic question. You know, when Tawang happened, helicopters evacuated around 35 of our soldiers to the Guwahati Medical College, out of which 7 of them are reported to be very serious. And we hope for their quick recovery. The government is in total denial of this basic fact that came out on the first day. The first day for us is on the 13th, not on the 9th.
No, so how is the government in denial? Because the defense minister said, yes, there have been injuries on our side, but none of them are very serious.
But then the report from ground from Guwahati Medical College says that 7 of our brave Jawans are very serious. You can find it out for yourselves. If I'm denying it,
so if you have intelligence which the government does not, we'd be very welcome to have that intelligence.
No, the government has all the intelligence. That's the question.
Okay.
Why
General
is the government in a denial
are the details
mode?
being obfuscated? General Singh, are the details being obfuscated? The Congress leader says that soldiers are seriously injured. The government is not giving that detail.
Well, I think, Padmaja, they are totally wrong. The government has announced the 6 could be 7. But also, please don't forget, the Chinese may have had more than 20 or 30 wounded themselves. So China is a deceitful and clever country. Earlier we did not understand China. Now it is time for China to understand the new India. Also, I want to mention that the Chinese play the game in democratic countries like India, USA, Britain, where they know that such small issues also become mountains from molehills, and the opposition parties must realize, don't play games with national security.
Here, when we are talking about, Mr. Chaudhary, about the government being in denial, I am reminded of a letter that I read that Sardar Patel had written on the 7th of November 1950, soon after China's new communist regime had invaded Tibet. Here is what Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wrote to our then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. He said, "My dear Jawaharlal, ever since my return from Ahmedabad and after the cabinet meeting the same day, which I had to attend, I have been anxiously thinking over the problem of Tibet, and I thought I should share with you what is passing through my mind. The Chinese government has tried to delude us by professions of peaceful intentions. My own feeling is that a crucial period they managed to instill into our ambassador a false sense of confidence in their so-called desire to settle the Tibetan problem by peaceful means." Talking of denial, sir, it is all during this period that we were told Hindi Chini bhai bhai, and the rest, as they say, is very, very painful history. So who was in denial and who was sleeping at the wheel?
Padmaja, you cite an incident some 50, 60 years ago and say that the government that we are having as of now is a new India government, chest-thumping pseudo-nationalist government, I call it. When the Pulwama happens, the Prime Minister is on a photo shoot.
Sir,
that apart,
again,
now coming
you are
to the basic
sidestepping my question. I am putting out before you facts to say that after Galwan, far from sleeping at the wheel, the government has gone into overdrive to boost operational readiness, infrastructure, as well as the kind of deployment that we have. On the one hand, comparison between 2020 and 2022. On the other hand, the comparison between 1958 and 1962, where we had Sardar Patel say, Chinese are up to no good, and we were told, bhai bhai. Who was in denial in the comparison I have made?
Chinese have always cheated us. You know the Panchshila agreement, how they overruled that Panchshila agreement and all these things is part of the history. Now, after Galwan,
you now say Chinese have always cheated us. Despite that, you say that just the fact that the Chinese are aggressive in Arunachal or anywhere along the LAC shows the government's failure in the present case. How is it?
Padmaja,
on the one hand, you're saying the Chinese are the villain. Then you're saying the government is the villain. That can't add up,
Padmaja,
sir.
I hope this is not a monologue. You will give me some time to respond.
Yes.
Bharatiya Janata Party's Arunachal unit has clearly tweeted a tweet a few months ago, I suppose. I have to dig that out when the tweet was, saying that Chinese have built up villages inside the Indian territory. That's not by Congress, that's not by any other. It's by the Bharatiya Janata Party Arunachal unit. First number point. Second number point, when you took up the Galwan issue, what was India's response after Galwan?
India's response was that we got more weapons. We gave more modern weapons to our troops all along the LAC, right from Ladakh up till Arunachal. We brought in more large artillery guns. We also ensured that we had drone surveillance. We also ensured that we have a new airport. We also ensured that we have a faster pace of construction of roads, especially in Arunachal Pradesh. Your turn.
Padmaja, let me reply. The response that I was speaking is not the military preparedness. We are very proud of our soldiers. But then you must understand, after Galwan, what the government did was banning the TikTok. That was the response.
I literally just explained to you the response. And sir, when we talk about building roads and getting weapons, that is the government's response. The soldiers fight. But to ensure that the soldiers have weapons to fight and their arms are strengthened and they are deployed quickly is what the country and its government does for the soldiers. And to understand that is important, sir. When you talk about Ladakh, it is not about slapping somebody on the wrist at G20. This is what Ladakh is. I'm going to leave it at that. I think, as they say in Hindi, समझदार को इशारा ही काफी है. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Thanks for watching.